Shimla. Hardly any travel lover has not heard this name. Hills, cool breeze, and the dream of a holiday in the lap of the Himalayas. But did you know? Just a little away from Shimla, there are hidden villages that still remain like secret treasures of nature away from the tourist rush. Some of these villages stay buried under snow for half of the year, while others carry centuries old histories. One such place is Chitkul, a peaceful, unique village in Kinnaur Valley. Chitkul feels like a poem. Here, the mountains speak in silence, the river sings its songs, and the pine trees touching the sky stand guard over nature. Chitkul is also known as the last village of India, and my experience visiting it was truly amazing. It is a very beautiful small village but located about 288 km from Shimla, taking roughly 12 to 13 hours to reach. Chitkul sits at an altitude of around 11,320 feet above sea level. The village is so remote and tiny that only about 800 to 1,000 people live there. For those who love offbeat destinations where there are fewer people, peace, and a break from the daily hustle, Chitkul is a perfect choice. I stayed there for one night and one day. During the day, I wandered around the village and its surroundings. Even though there are not many activities nearby, the natural beauty of the area is so captivating that one could easily spend several days just soaking it all in. So I spent a day exploring there, and honestly, there were only two main places worth visiting: a Buddhist temple and the last cafe of India. Now let me share my personal experience from the very beginning. I started my journey from Delhi. From Delhi, I reached Shimla's new bus stand around 5:30 am, and about half an hour later, an HRTC bus bound to Recong arrived. The fare for this bus was 450 rupees. I had to get off at Karcham, where I changed buses to continue my journey to Sangla. Although I had visited Himachal several times before, the mountains along this route felt completely different and uniquely breathtaking to me. On the way from Shimla to Karcham, the bus stops at a place called Rampur for about 30 minutes. After eating, I wandered around a bit and also checked out the local bus schedule. I am sharing it here so it might come in handy if you ever plan to visit. The roads you usually see of Kinnaur Valley on YouTube or various social media platforms, those are exactly the roads I travelled. They are simultaneously beautiful and quite dangerous. After enjoying the beauty of Kinnaur Valley for about 6 hours, I finally reached Karcham. From there, I boarded a bus to Sangla, which cost 90 rupees. By the time I reached Sangla, it was already 4 pm, and since the bus to Chitkul was no longer running in the evening, I could not go to Chitkul that day. So I spent the night in Sangla. Sangla is also a beautiful small village in Kinnaur district. While looking for a hotel there, I found Baspa guest house on the main road. I got a nice room with this stunning outside view for just 800 rupees. After settling in and freshening up, I went out for dinner. Since it was off-season, mostly local people were around and there were very few food shops. Sangla is a very small village, so the number of shops is limited. That night, I wandered a bit, had my meal, and then returned to hotel. After spending a night there, the next morning I boarded the 9 am bus to Chitkul from Sangla bus stand. The next bus would have been at 11 am, which would have made me very late. To add, during winter this road is actually closed because it gets completely covered in snow and temperatures can drop as low as minus 21 degrees Celsius. The road from Sangla to Chitkul was, in my experience, the most beautiful road I have seen in Himachal so far, and also quite dangerous. The snow-covered mountains all around made the journey even more extraordinary. As the saying goes, sometimes it is not about the destination, it is about the journey. These roads reminded me of that truth with every passing moment. After enjoying the scenic road for about 2 hours, I finally reached Chitkul, the last village of India. One important thing to mention is that there is no Airtel network there, but Jio works fine. Additionally, most hotels and hostels provide Wi-Fi. There are also quite a few good options for staying here. Since the village relies heavily on tourism, many locals have converted their homes into homestays. These homestays offer an incredible experience of living in a small mountain village. There is a monastery here that is nearly 500 years old, and the village itself is situated on the banks of the Baspa River. Arriving in the morning, my first task was to find a place to stay, as I had not booked anything in advance. After a short walk, I found a homestay that costed 1500 rupees. The stay was quite nice and offered beautiful views of the mountains. After freshening up, I began exploring Chitkul. The first place I visited was the old monastery in the village. This is the old monastery in Chitkul known as Mathi Temple. It was built in honor of their local deity, Devi Mathi, and showcases a remarkable example of traditional Kinnori woodwork. Various local festivals are celebrated here, making it a cultural hub of this village. From here, a 3 to 4 kilometer walk takes you all the way to the India-Tibet border, where India's last cafe is located. From the Buddhist temple, I set off toward that last cafe at the border. Walking slowly and taking in the surroundings made the experience completely unique. Even though the village is small, just gazing at the mountains or sitting by the Baspa River brings a special kind of joy. The Baspa River, which flows down from the glaciers of the Tibetan mountains, runs right beside the small cafe. The beauty of the place is hard to put into words. I had expected the food at the cafe to be expensive, but it was quite reasonably priced. After enjoying a meal at that cafe, I walked back to Chitkul. By the time I returned, it was already evening, so I grabbed some food nearby before heading back to my stay. The next day, I set off on the 6 a.m. bus toward another amazing village in Himachal called Kalpa. There are a few important things to mention. First, the entire journey is quite long, so it is better to plan accordingly. Spend 1 or 2 nights in Shimla if you want to explore the city, and at least 1 night in Sangla before heading further. Second, the village is located at over 11,000 feet above the sea level. So due to the high altitude, there is a chance of feeling unwell, which I also experienced. Headaches can occur due to the lack of oxygen, so those who are prone to such issues may want to carry a small oxygen cylinder or camphor. Additionally, the roads are not in the best condition, so motion sickness is also a possibility. But despite all these challenges, one thing stayed with me. The roads tested my spirit, but Chitkul healed my soul.